He'll get. Oh, and we're up. Hi. Welcome to Around the Block. I'm Heather Holman along with Adria Goins and Jacqueline Ferris is also here. There she is. How's everybody doing?
Good.
We have a lot to get to because not only did we have Mother's Day, we also had a Thunder game, and there was also a Luke Combs concert and severe weather at the same time. So
It's quite
a lot
the weekend,
to get to. It
right?
was. But let's start with Mother's Day.
Yeah. How was your Mother's Day, Heather?
Oh, it was fantastic. So I posted pictures. We went to Guthrie. First, we had lunch. I don't remember the name of the restaurant, Senor something. On the way into Guthrie, it was good. And then we went to the Oklahoma Frontier Drugstore Museum, which was super cool. Inside, they have like old-timey, like early 1900s, when, at statehood, prescriptions and how they would treat people. And they still have medicines in the jars.
Oh, wow.
And they had safe arsenic that they used to treat people with.
Is there such thing? Is that an oxymoron?
Oh, yeah, it was safe. It was like a minimal amount. It's safe. So we did that and then a lot of antique shopping. But we had a blast. How about you guys?
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. This weekend was pretty busy for me. I had a bunch of errands Friday that I had to get done, dog to the vet, that kind of thing, before I could actually start to enjoy my weekend. And then we had two soccer games, our last two soccer games of the season on Saturday, and they were right in the middle of the heat. So it was hot, but we won both. And we ended up finishing the season undefeated. And
nice.
Yes. And our girls just were amazing. The second game was really, really close. And we were missing a couple of our players because they had to leave early. One had a wedding and things like that had to be a part of. And so I was very nervous. We won by a goal. And I think that's the first time I actually could feel veins popping out of my neck for screaming so hard at some of the girls. Like, get the ball.
And before you think Adria is a crazed lunatic parent, she's actually the coach.
Yes.
So she's allowed to do this.
Yes. But I kept thinking, as soon as I screamed, and I screamed at my daughter about it, I was like, Gabby, hit the ball out of there, and then I thought, oh my gosh, how many of these parents just heard me yell at her like that? Because they never hear me. I'll yell and be like, come on. But I never vein popping yelling. So it was such an intense moment and I thought, thank goodness that was my daughter that I yelled at. But anyways.
Yes.
It was fun.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah. And then Mother's Day, we went to church and brunch. And then Gabby and I watched a movie on the couch and during the rain, which was fabulous. So it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Jacqueline?
We had two soccer games too, and we won one and lost one.
Is this Saturday or Sunday?
It was Saturday.
Yeah.
Big day of soccer across the metro on Saturday. But it was really nice. Honestly, yesterday, I just enjoyed the rain and it being slow.
Yes. Yeah, it was just kind of like one of those calm, chill days.
Yeah, it kind of was. Everybody recouping from Mother's Day, and maybe you went to the Luke Combs concert and got stuck out in the rain for a few hours. We'll talk about that coming up. But first, I also watched Saturday night, the Thunder game.
We watched that too, yes.
Great game.
It was a great game.
Yes, I've watched all of them, as I always do, and I always can't wait for the next one.
I know, which is tonight. Late tip-off, 9:30 in LA. So
where is it airing tonight? Do you know?
I think it's on Prime.
Okay. Yeah. And so we get viewer emails from people saying, mad that we're not carrying all the games. If we could, we would. We promise.
Yeah.
Yes.
What that does for us is bring in a huge rating. So of course we would want that, but that's not up to us. It's a whole NBA deal. So you can contact the NBA if you're upset with the local station.
We have nothing to do with them not being on our station when they should be. So
right. And so it was on Amazon Prime also on Saturday night, but just such a great game. I loved it's just so action packed.
I know. It's funny because I go to bed really early and I thought I'm going to make it all the way through this game. I'm going to watch it all. It's a Saturday. And then I got to halftime, and while I was sitting there watching halftime, I was, sitting there on the couch and I fell asleep. And I woke up halfway through the third quarter. I opened my eyes really wide. I was like, oh, the game's still on. And I was like, oh, we're winning big now. Maybe I should go back. But then I, watched the rest of it.
Yes,
so.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And then Chet, we've talked about him celebrating his 24th birthday recently.
Yep.
And his mom was in town for that. And she talked to us and she helped him celebrate, help downtown Oklahoma City. She's on the left there. Celebrate. Look at all those tall people. They got to be related to. But so look at this. He's on the cover of a magazine. She talked about how he really, truly loves Oklahoma City and it's really his home. And he puts his heart into his volunteer work that he does. And they're always busy going around town, taking pictures, passing out things for the holidays, like we see here. And so just a really great organization, the Thunder Foundation. And Chet's mom says, her baby loves it here.
Yeah,
So.
that's good. Yeah, he's definitely, I love how all Thunder players are very involved in the community and helping with different giving opportunities. I think it's a beautiful thing. So I love to see that. And Chet's always involved in all of that. So yay. And we're glad to have him a part of our team too.
I mean, can you imagine when he won the NBA, he won the championship as part of the Thunder team when he was 23.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think about that being so young to already be an NBA champion.
I know.
But I mean, if you look at LeBron still playing, you know, and Chet's over here 23 years old. So now he's 24. He's growing up.
Hopefully he gets one at 24 too.
I think he's probably done growing in height, I would say.
I think so. I think he's finished
you don't
growing.
think another growth spurt? I have one at
Could you
23.
imagine?
He's still young. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah. You know how people shrink when they get older? Like I have definitely shrunk. My parents have shrunk. Chet's going to shrink to maybe 6'9".
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe 6'11". Isn't he 7 feet even?
I think so. Even? I think at least that's what it says on the roster, right?
Yeah.
Compared to you and I, Heather, he's extremely tall.
Yeah.
Compared to me, everyone's extremely tall. That's just the way that works. All right. The other big story of the day, when we come back, we're going to talk about Luke Combs' concert. People drenched in rain, but they said it was amazing. We'll be back after this. There Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. Who loves that song? I do.
Oh, it's such a good song.
I know. It's from the movie Twisters. Luke Combs sang it, and he was in concert in Norman at OU Stadium Saturday night when all of the severe weather was coming down. It was just rain is what they got at the stadium. But it was raining during the concert, but people did not care. They were singing along. Everyone had their phones out recording. You could see it all over social media over the weekend. And this is what we're talking about. Those are some good seats right there.
No kidding.
Wow.
I think that's Sydney Batzloff's video.
Is that her video?
Yeah, I think
she had
so.
good seats.
Great seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what she noticed was that as soon as the concert was over, they told everyone to evacuate. But that was what they did was they moved the concert up an hour.
Yes.
His portion of it was up an hour. And so you can see the rain there though. And but she said that as soon as he was done, the stadium told everyone to evacuate.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the end in the clip. It'll say evacuate.
Yeah, on the big screens behind everybody in red. They had to push up cut the sets short on some of the other opening acts. I know Dierks Bentley's was a little bit shorter than what they normally do, and a couple of the other people, so that way they could move the show up.
Yeah.
So they could get it in time before it started raining. And this was one of his last songs, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. And that's when it started raining.
So cool.
So
Just
it's
like
kind of like, yeah.
Twisters. Hello.
Yeah.
I said thunders. Twisters.
So it's kind of, like perfect timing, essentially.
I didn't see the evacuate. I was waiting to see the evacuate.
I know. I didn't pop back up.
That would be scary if they said that. I would wonder if there was a tornado. Of course, I have all the push alerts on my phone.
Sure.
Forewarn me. You can get that for free, and you'll get notified if there is a warning. But if it says evacuate, I would go.
I know.
I don't know. Were people
why
racing to get
there
out?
It is right there. See the red?
Okay.
Evacuate.
Yeah.
Severe weather is approaching the area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never seen anything like that.
Pretty
That's
crazy.
Cool. All right.
That was a big deal. Like there was tens of thousands of people there for that concert.
I saw so many friends posting videos.
Yeah.
So many people were there. Mike Morgan was there too, I think.
Yeah.
So, just a great time had by all, but we're glad it was able to go on. It would have been awful if it had gotten rained out.
I know. After all that work, I mean, it takes a week just to set up the entire
50 semi-loads.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
50. I couldn't believe that when I heard that. I was like, are you sure it's not like 18? No, 50.
Yeah, that is so wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when they moved up the times, I was worried about it getting so toasty in the stadium because it was pretty warm
and humid. Yeah,
yeah.
They think they opened the doors at like 4 o'clock,
That's
somewhere
what I
around
saw,
there.
Yeah.
And so, you're right. It'd be hot and steamy, and then they get all rained on. But definitely a fun experience for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, memories made.
Yeah, exactly. there is a company in town that builds beds, and it's part of a charity, a nonprofit, and they do this for kids. And I think this is amazing because hundreds of kids in the metro don't have a bed to call their own. They can be foster kids. They can move from place to place with their parents. But this nonprofit builds twin-size beds from the ground up, and it's called Sleep in Heavenly Peace. And I love that too.
That's sweet.
And so just on Friday, volunteers with Bolt Construction helped build 10 beds in about 2 hours. They're all twin size. But, just to wake up in your own bed feels amazing.
Yeah. This is such a great organization, and they've really grown in the past several months or several years. And they help so many kids. If these come from, maybe foster kids or kids who have been displaced or families who take in these kids that need, they don't have a bed for them. And it's just a beautiful thing what they're doing. I also did a Pay It Forward a couple of months ago on a woman who does a similar project like this out of the Tecumseh area. And she's out of a church, and she just started doing it. She went to one of these things right here, this, Sleep in Heavenly Peace events, learned how to do it, and now she has that at her own church, helping a lot of people in Pottawatomie County. So it's just amazing how they are helping all of these kids in need. Yeah,
so precious to help the kids like that too. When we come back, we're going to be talking about distracted driving in Oklahoma and where we rank nationwide with distracted driving. You might be surprised. That's next. Hey, everybody, there is a case where police need your help, and this involves a woman, pardon me, who is still missing, believed to have been murdered. 22-year-old Madison Farley, only 22, and she was a new mom. So police have released surveillance video of 4 men going into her home, and one of them was carrying a rifle, and they're hoping that people will recognize those men. But look what a gorgeous girl she was.
She's beautiful.
22, Madison Farley. There's her little baby holding the brand new baby. So just awful. But
it's been 6 years since her disappearance, and they're hoping that this video right here that you can see, it's not a lot to see, but you can see people running from the home right there. They're hoping maybe someone might remember this or recognize something that's going on. And there's a truck that they believe is involved as well, a gray pickup truck.
As a parent, it's horrifying to watch something like that and to know that those men hurt your child. And then also on top of that, to not even have it solved is even more heartbreaking on top of everything else. But so if you recognize those men or this truck, the police department would like to hear from you, involving 22-year-old Madison Farley. Very sad.
I think it's important for people to understand, even if you have a glimmer of suspicion, that you think I may know. I've seen a great truck. I know someone with a truck like that. Just call. They love your tip. No tip is too small.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Tip is too small.
Very good points. Distracted driving in Oklahoma. There's a new study that ranks us number 10th as the most deadliest, and that is a huge number. I mean, we made the top 10. That's not somewhere where we want to be. That's a negative thing. But Oklahoma, the study shows distracted driving kills or injures an average of 107 people in Oklahoma every single year. And, it's so common, distracted driving. And it's not just phones. It's anything. It's people eating in their car, reaching for their water bottle, reaching for their purse, doing their makeup, whatever it may be, voice to text, texting. So it's just that high to be the 10th in the nation is huge. And so we need to really, really, really work on getting that down.
I know you're seeing some of these numbers here on your screen. New Mexico is the number 1 state right now, 286 victims of distracted driving a year. But this, I think, was the most interesting statistic for me, is that 15% of the deadly crashes in Oklahoma, they involve drivers 20 years old or younger.
Wow.
So that's like, for me, someone who is just a couple of years away from their teenage son driving, it freaks me out. Like, it's something that I have major anxiety over. I have anxiety over his grades right now. I can't even imagine how bad it would be. It's going to put me in the hospital when I have to think about him driving on these roads, which he knows better than to use his phone. But you never know, someone could call him and he could reach over and grab it, or you know what I mean? So just even the thought about it, just so scary, which Heather, you're going through it right now.
Uh-huh.
You have 2 girls.
Child 2.
Yeah.
And so my first child is 19, about to be 20. My second is 15 and a half, and she has her permit. And so just wait, Adria. Just wait till you start screaming from the passenger seats.
Oh, man. I know. I am one of those people who will ride with the photographers to a shoot. And if they get too close to somebody, I'll be like, oh, hey, ooh, like, watch out. Like, I can remember a couple times having to reach over and be like, Caleb, did you see they're braking in front of you? And he's like, yeah, I see it. And I was like, oh, okay, just making sure.
Just making sure. Wait till it's your own son, and then you're going to be yelling, and you're going to have your imaginary brake pedal down on your side.
Whenever I'm not in control of a situation like that, it just really causes me to have such major anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And I may just have to send my husband into all the practice driving with my son, because I don't know if I can do it. I just don't think I can. It's going to be too difficult to not, scream and yell at him, and then he'll get mad, and then I'll get even more mad.
Yes, and then I feel bad afterwards.
Yeah,
she's just learning.
Yep. But then I'll apologize, and he'll still be mad, or something. And it just sounds like it's going to be a very terrible situation.
It sounds so frightening.
Yeah. I can't even.
I promise you, ladies, there's life on the other side.
I know.
It is scary. And so when Briar first started driving, now she, like I said, almost 20, but when she was 16, 15 and a half, I would be screaming. This is my first child to drive. I would literally be in the passenger seat going, stop. And she'd be just still driving going, Mom, it's fine. It's totally fine. And she was right.
Yeah.
And she was just slowing down at her pace, but it was fine. I was just out of control. Like you said, Andrea, I didn't have any control in that situation. So
when you're
somewhat scary.
You feel helpless when you have no control over your surroundings or what's going on. And which I know I need to trust. I need to learn to have more trust, but it's hard for me to put trust in a 15, 16-year-old child.
And the cars around you, not understanding that there's a child driving.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. Yes.
Oh, this is going to be so terrifying. I might need to cry on your shoulder in about 2 years.
You totally can. You can call me while you're in the car. Heather, he's doing this. You're not going to believe this.
He'll probably be like, Mom, get off the phone.
Yeah, I actually we're talking about distracted driving. 2 people on my way to work one time. 2 different people almost hit me head on.
Oh my goodness.
As I was driving to work, and they were both pickup trucks, and they were both on their phones, and they swerved into my lane, and I'd have to swerve over and lay on the horn.
Yeah.
And then they'll jerk it back and realize, oh, sorry, I almost caught a head-on collision. Yeah, twice in a row that happened.
Yeah, I see that way too often driving around. Also, you can always tell if I'm riding, if my husband's with me, and there's a sporadic driver in front of us. We'll say, "Oh, how much you want to bet he's on his phone or she's on his phone?"
Everyone is.
That's exactly what it was. They're sitting there doing this, trying to drive, texting, and it's just. It's frustrating.
It would be interesting to compare the numbers, to research it and find the numbers pre-smartphone, post-smartphone, where we are now, and how the amount of distracted driving has increased and the amount of deadly accidents as well.
I mean, we're not naive to think that crashes were not happening from distracted driving before cell phones, but it's totally changed the numbers.
The thing is, everyone's on their phone. If you drive and you just look around while driving, people are on their phone, especially at stoplights. Everyone's on their phone. So it's just part of life these days, and it really, truly has increased deadly accidents. Sad deal.
I also think that a little bit of the problem is so much of your phone's technology is now integrated into your car.
Yeah.
And so it's even...
that's supposed to help, but...
it's supposed to.
Yeah. Because that way you can just punch a button over here on the side, but still you're also distracted because you're looking at that too and making sure that you're hanging up the phone call or your GPS is correct or whatever.
Right. All right. Something we all need to work on, including silencing our phones. I cannot believe you didn't silence your phone,
Look at
Adria.
You're distracted while we're working.
Distracted working. Okay. When we come back, Roomba is introducing a robot for your house. That's next. Okay, one of the founding partners of Roomba now wants to come back and produce an AI generated fake robot pet. Fake pet robot. So it's a robot. That part's not fake, but it's a fake pet. And his hope is that it will overtake real dogs and cats in your
Not
home.
possible.
No, not possible. And I hope that's not the case. It is super cute, but you can have this in conjunction with a real one.
Yeah, because this doesn't give you emotion. This doesn't sit on your lap and love on you.
Well,
like
it's supposed to follow you around your home and adapt to your daily habits. And it says it extends itself into a greeting stretch that invites you to pat its touch-sensitive fake fur.
No. I mean, I don't mind it, but you can't tell me that a living, breathing dog has more connection to a human than a robot.
It kind of looks like a turtle / dog / panda bear. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's an it.
Yes.
And also, we don't have the information on the price tag. I'm sure it's far, far up there.
It's probably pretty pricey. If
Yes.
it's robotic, it would be probably be pretty pricey.
Yep. Cute, though. All right. Today's Bizarre Holidays. It is National Eat What You Want Day.
That's right. I'm going to eat what I want, and no one's going to tell me any different. National Foam Rolling Day.
All right.
National Technology Day.
And National Twilight Zone Day.
Did you watch that show?
No.
No, me
Believe
either.
it or not, I'm too young for that show.
I know, me too. But it's always on reruns, just like the Andy Griffith.
Oh,
so
yes.
you never,
I should. It sounds
Yeah.
interesting. I talk about it all the time. All right. You know, the do. I've done that my whole life, and I've never even seen an episode.
Never even watched
but I think
one.
because my parents did that when I was a kid. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at 11. We hope you have a great day.